Toyota jobs, top-rated schools, new construction homes, small community feel. We're talking about Georgetown, Kentucky, very close into Lexington. If you're thinking about moving into this area, in today's video, we're going to be exploring all things Georgetown. We're going to be looking at a market analysis. We're going to have a look at 3 of the homes in some of the best neighborhoods. We're going to look at the pros and cons. We're going to talk about how Toyota has added to the economy here. So stick with us. We're going to get to it right now. Georgetown is about 25 minutes north, just straight north of Lexington. So if this is an area that you're thinking about and maybe you don't want to be right in Lexington, Georgetown might be the place for you. Georgetown, Kentucky is one of the fastest growing towns here in Kentucky, and the population is just around 40,000, which is growing significantly in the last decade, likely due to the growth of Toyota. Toyota factory here employs about 9,000 people, so it does bring in a lot of money into the economy here in Georgetown and really all over the state of Kentucky. Now, some people might ask, why is Georgetown one of the fastest growing towns here in central Kentucky? And that would have to be due to the fact that Toyota came into Georgetown, just a small, sleepy town in 1985. It's been about 40 years, and the change of the economy, the schools, housing here, everything has exploded in these last 40 years. And that is why Georgetown has really come to life. Toyota employs about 9,000 people, and they bring in billions of dollars into the economy of Kentucky. So the changes that they've brought here have been transforming to this area. They produce the Camry, some of the hybrid RAV4s. I'm thinking the Lexus is also built here in this Georgetown area. Now, when we're thinking about the schools in this area, because of the tax base that Toyota has brought in, it has really helped to rebuild the schools here in this Georgetown area. So if you go to niche.com, you will see that the high schools here in Georgetown get a B or B plus. There are 2 high schools here now. There used to just be 1, but now there are 2 high schools just because so many people have moved into the area. You have Scott County High School, and then you also have Great Crossings High School, and it's a pretty new school that just opened in 2019. So you can tell that things have changed so much just in these last, in the last decade. People always say, well, living in small towns, you don't really have very many restaurants, and that is not true of this Georgetown area. So here we are walking through the downtown area right now. There are so many things to do in this downtown that you really could try all different things. This morning, I met a friend at Fava's. It's just like a diner out of the 1970s. Go in there, they have homemade pies, they have all kinds of breakfast foods. Just a really nice diner to go in and enjoy. So be sure if you're in the area to check it out. Another place that I really love to try for special occasions and just a really nice southern steak place is Rodney's on Broadway. Now, if you haven't ever tried eating there, you've got to try their meatballs, wonderful dishes that they have there. So be sure to stop in there and try that. Some of the other restaurants that I wanted to name is, there's one here, and I haven't tried this one, Country Boy Brewing. If you haven't tried that, or if that sounds something, it's like a pub style restaurant, but just I looked it up online, I read all the reviews, and I'm going to try that one out. Another place that I really want to recommend to you is Galvin's. Now, it's right here on Main Street in Georgetown. Really nice place to come and eat, especially if you're downtown in the evenings walking around. We've got Blind Harry's, like I said, Fava's. There's Hoggy's Ice Cream here right on Main Street. And for dessert, you've got to try Desserts by Rebecca. If you enjoy our content, be sure to like and subscribe and tap the bell for notifications so you'll be the first one to know about all the market changes in the Lexington, Georgetown, Frankfort, or Sales area, and anywhere all over central Kentucky. We're going to be taking a look at 3 houses today in 3 different neighborhoods. They're known as, some of the top neighborhoods here in the Georgetown area. One of them is Canewood, another one is Cherry Blossom Villages, and the next one is Pleasant Valley. So we're going to be looking at 3 different houses here, so stick with us today and let's get going. Cherry Blossom Village is close to the golf course. It's near I-75, which is ideal for commuters. It has a mix of custom homes and newer construction. There are HOAs and clubhouses here. And as we drive through this neighborhood, you can see that there is a mixture of single-family homes as well as some very nice townhouses and condos, and even properties that are still being built. This neighborhood here in Cherry Blossom Village is very close to shopping and restaurants, and just a beautiful place here on the north side of Georgetown. Now, while we were doing our touring today, we actually looked at 3 houses in 3 different neighborhoods. Now, these neighborhoods are noted in the top areas in the Georgetown area. So we're going to kind of dive in to look at them just a little bit more in depth. Now, the Cherry Blossom neighborhood, that's a neighborhood that kind of has a golf community. It's very close to the interstate, so it's very easy access for people coming into Toyota. It's very close to the Toyota gates. So if that type of community is what you're looking for, the Cherry Blossom property that we talked about is probably going to be really high on your list. Now, the Pleasant Valley neighborhood that we looked at, it's not too far from Cherry Blossom, but the houses there, some of them have more vinyl siding, so a little bit less expensive features and finishes in those houses. So if you're looking for something maybe in the low to mid 300 range, that would be the neighborhood for you. Those are newer homes being built in there. Sometimes if you get in there quickly, you could actually pick out some of your own finishes. So reach out to us, give us a call, send us a text or an email so we can get you on a subscription list, and maybe you could get into one of those houses and be able to pick some of your own finishes. Now, the third neighborhood that we looked at was the Canewood neighborhood, and that neighborhood is really on the western side, closer to Franklin County. So that would be the one that you would want to look at if you want to be on that western side. Now, the Canewood neighborhood still did have some new construction going on there. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to be maybe closer to the Frankfort side, not as close to the interstate, reach out to us. That would be a great neighborhood to be in. We wanted to talk just briefly about the market snapshot in Georgetown, because with all the new construction going on there, people moving into the area, prices in Georgetown are a little bit different than maybe prices in Frankfort or Lawrenceburg or Versailles, just mostly due to the amount of people moving in, whether it be for Toyota or other jobs. So the median list price in this first quarter is around $329,000. And so that's up and significantly higher than some of the areas around, maybe just in competition with the market in Lexington. Looking at the MLS, we can see that average days on market here look like about 54 days. So things aren't moving as quickly as they were, but still things in this lower price range, right around that median price point. If the property is in very good condition, up to date, really doesn't need anything, those houses are not staying on the market as long. We really wanted to also look at some of the pros and cons of living in the Georgetown area. And really the biggest con, and we've kind of talked about it throughout the day, is the economy in Georgetown. It has added to the growth of the town, basically because of the people coming in with Toyota. As we've stated earlier, over 9,000 people are employed through the Toyota manufacturing company. So that strong economy really does boost it and gives us that really top pro for living in Georgetown. The number 2 pro about living in Georgetown is affordable housing. So if you compare that to Frankfort, really it may not be as affordable as living in Frankfort is, or in Lawrenceburg. But if you compare it to Lexington or maybe even Versailles, it is a more affordable option for you being in the Georgetown area. The third pro that we wanted to talk about was the newer schools, and we talked about those schools. There are probably 2 or 3 new elementary schools and a new high school in the Georgetown area, and all of them have really good ratings, so be sure to check them out on niche.com. The fourth pro, and we've seen it as we walked all through town, is the small town charm of living in Georgetown. I mean, really, when you're walking up and down Main Street, it really just feels like, being on a Hallmark movie. Just a really southern feel to the area. And living in a small town, people have pros and cons about that very fact. But if you're raising a family and you want to be close to everything, but maybe you don't want to have a $600,000 house payment, to pay for, living in this Georgetown area might be the answer for you. The fifth pro we wanted to discuss is the booming new construction. Now, as I was driving all through town, today I was seeing construction going on in lots of different areas. All the neighborhoods that we toured today did have construction going on in those neighborhoods, so new housing is something that not a lot of Central Kentucky communities have. So being able to pick out a new home and maybe pick out your finishes, that is a pro for a lot of people. Now, we can't talk about the pros, as you know, without discussing some of these cons. So the first con we wanted to get to really relates back to one of our pros, and that is the rising price of houses in the Georgetown area. People in Georgetown, they complain about the rising cost of, housing, because they're seeing prices increase. But when people are coming from out of town or out of state, they really feel like the prices are competitive to other places that they've checked. Now, the second con that we want to talk about, and it's there again related to one of the pros of being in a small town, is limited nightlife and limited entertainment. We talk about all the different things that there was to do in Georgetown, with the parks and, close to the horse park and different events that are there in Georgetown. Things for kids to do, sporting activities, but really nightlife, you're really going to need to go into Lexington for those kinds of things. Really, you're not going to have, music events or things at sports bars and that kind of thing that you might have when you get into Lexington. The third pro that we want to talk about is the traffic, and especially the traffic over near Toyota and out by the interstate. So if you are coming into Georgetown and you have to get off at those exits, it is going to be pretty heavy traffic. I mean, in comparison, if you're comparing it to Miami or some other large city, it's nothing compared to that. But people in a small town would complain about the amount of traffic, and that is due a lot to the changing of the shifts there at Toyota. So during those shift changes, that's probably not a time that you're going to want to be over there by the interstate. Our fourth con, and we've talked about this with other videos, definitely with the one we just did in Versailles and maybe even some in Frankfort, is the limited box stores. We are so close to the Lexington area, really any of these small towns around Lexington that you live, that it is one of the things that we don't really think so much about, because you can get in your car and you can be in Lexington in 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what area of town you want to be in. So just that we don't have them here, it's not really a huge negative, but it is listed as a con. So other than Walmart or Lowe's, you're not going to really find a big box store in Georgetown. Now, the last con that we wanted to talk about is limited public transportation. Really, if you live in Georgetown, you're going to need to have your own car or a way for somebody to take you wherever you need to go. Really, there's not really a bus service or anything like that that's going to run all over town and take you at different times. So limited public transportation is considered a con. So now we're going to jump into my computer. I want to show you the location of some of these neighborhoods that we've looked at. I'd love to show you where some of these restaurants are. It's just a fantastic little town, so let's jump into it so we can take a look. Now here you can see on my map, you'll be able to see I-75 that runs right down this side of Georgetown.
over here on the northeastern side of Georgetown. But if we kind of move on down, you'll see that just outside of the edge of Georgetown is I-64. And we've talked about how these two major interstates intersect right in Lexington. So if you're coming from Frankfort, you might come here on I-64. So over here is Frankfort, over here to the west, and you can see how I-64 comes right down here just south of Georgetown, coming into Lexington. Today, as we're focusing on Georgetown, I wanted just to give you a look at how close it is actually to Lexington. And because the price point of housing in the Lexington area is significantly more than what you could get in Georgetown, lots of people tend to look in this Georgetown area. So you've got between 20 to maybe 30 minutes drive into Lexington, depending on where you're wanting to go. So if you are up here toward this Toyota plant, and we're going to look at some of the neighborhoods up there, and you want to actually, maybe you're working in downtown or out here at the airport, it's probably going to take you a good 30 minutes to get down there, depending on the traffic. So let's just take a look at our Lexington map. We look at this all the time in relation to the towns around here. So you can see our New Circle Road here where my cursor is, the main travel around Lexington. And you can see where people take 25, US 25 north into Georgetown. A lot of times they take it over to the interstate, over to I-75, and then take that north. And it's about a 20 to 30 minute drive, depending on the traffic, to get up here to Georgetown. So today we're going to be looking at, and we've looked at some of these already, but I wanted to show it to you on the map. I want to show you right here where Toyota is, just to kind of give you an idea of where Toyota is on our map. Now, as we stated earlier, about 9,000 people or so work at this Toyota plant, and it has been a huge economic boom to Georgetown and Scott County. We're going to kind of zoom in just a little, just so you can get an idea. So it is here right off I-75. If you're moving into the Georgetown area, maybe you're transferring here for a job, or you're moving here for a job at Georgetown. We did look at these neighborhoods today. We did look at this Pleasant Valley. As you can see, it's just here, just barely to the south of the Toyota plant. Very convenient. And we did look at this property here. We're going to see, well, this picture on the map is not going to show it, but we did show it to you. We'll take a quick look at it now.
We are taking a tour right now through the Pleasant Valley neighborhood. This is on the northern side of Georgetown. All new, brand new homes in here. Now these homes start in the high 300s. So if you're looking for a new home, maybe a starter home that you're ready to get into, and you are coming into Georgetown, you're working at Toyota, or maybe you are living somewhere north of here, and this would be a good central location because of the interstates. This would make easy travel down into Lexington or wherever you wanted to go. If you can get on the interstate and get there. The streets here are well planned. As you can see, we've got several houses coming up here, new homes. Some of them are already sold, so reach out to us. If you see a house in this neighborhood, you might be able to pick the flooring choices, the granite or countertop choices, faucet colors, the lighting. There still might be some things that you would be able to choose if you reach out to us while we're still in the construction phase or the last part of the construction phase. Now this neighborhood is very close to the Great Crossings High School that I was telling you earlier, opened in 2019, the new high school here. So we're going to jump in here and take a look at one of these houses here in Pleasant Valley. It's a little windy here today, but as you can see, this house is pretty far along in its construction. It's about 2,100 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So we're going to go in and take a quick look around, and then we'll jump into the map so I can show you where this neighborhood is in relation to downtown, the high school, Toyota, and all the main things. So stick with us. Now, as you can see behind me, that is the 2-car garage. See if I can get out of the way and you can get a good look. And when we come into the house from the garage, let's see if we can kind of figure out what's going on. I'm going to give you a spin around so you can just get an idea of the living space here just inside the garage. Here we are at the front door. Really nice stairway, wood post. Got a wood tread there, so maybe they're going to put some wood treads in. We don't have the flooring down yet, but take a look at this ceiling. Now the paint in here is maybe a khaki color. Got this little alcove here. Looks like a half bath here. But I want to just take you into this family room and give you a spin around. Look at that beautiful stone fireplace. Not sure if it'll be gas or wood burning. We'll check out that deck. Thinking that this is going to be maybe a bar here between the kitchen and living room. Maybe this is your dining room. That's the door going back out into the garage. There's no flooring or lighting in here yet. So if a house like this is something interesting to you, be sure to reach out to us and we might be able to get you under contract on a house like this. You might be able to pick out maybe some of the finishes that could make it really just personal to you, so you could see into that area. It's nice that they didn't put a wall there. Not sure if I wouldn't have just liked for it to be open, but maybe if you find another property that's in this stage of construction, you might be able to make some changes. Let's take a look out on the deck. I would say this is going to be a private backyard, but it looks like there's more building going on the other side of these trees. You can see the house next door is completed. They've got their fence up. So you can kind of see the backyard is not really going to be that big, and likely you'll have people in the next year or two behind you. What do you think about this? Looks like it's going to be it's a gray vinyl and a reddish brick. Really pretty colors here on this property. So we're going to go in, take a look upstairs. Now you come to the top of the stairs, to this hallway. Really nice bedroom here. Wonder if it will be the primary. It's got a double tray ceiling, large enough for sure to have a king size bed. This will be your view. Yep, this will be the primary. So it's at the front of the hallway. Looks like a double vanity. Walk-in shower and some probably that's where your toilet will be, and your closet. So what do you think about this space? I'm not sure if I told you the price, but yeah, this house is priced right at $390,000. So if you're wanting to get in to a new house here, let's see, in this northern side of Georgetown, you'll want to give us a call about this one. There's your laundry room. It's got a really large door so you can get your washer and dryer in. Now it looks like this is a smaller bedroom here. Good size maybe for a nursery or an office. You've got the same here. One window in each room. Now this room is a little bit bigger. You could definitely have a queen size bed here in this room, a little bit bigger. The view out this front window, once the construction is completed, It's really nice. What do you think about this one for just under the $400,000 range, brand new? You'll have warranties, you know, on everything. This will be your covered small porch as you come into the home. We're gonna head over and take a look at our next property, so stick with us.
Now, there's a lot of things here just on this northern side. And as we stated, the homes in this area, this first house that we looked at, these homes are new, brand new homes in these neighborhoods that are just being built. You can really get in there and actually pick some of your finishes. Maybe if you decide there's a lot there that you'd like to look at, maybe get the builder to start on a property, we can definitely get into that for you. Now, the next neighborhood we want to take a look at is here in the Cherry Blossom area. So there's a really nice golf course here. So if if golf is your thing and maybe you're wanting to retire to an area, this is this Cherry Blossom neighborhood with this golf course. Just a very unique place to play golf. There's the clubhouse. Let me just show you a little bit about it here. Just a very scenic area, as you can see, all of the area of downtown. So this area is just, a little bit more expensive than the last area we looked at. So we're going to jump in and take a look at one of the houses here.
So here we are on the inside. I want to tell you a little bit about this house as we kind of walk through. Now, it is a 2-level house with the other level being in the basement. So I'm going to turn you around and let you have a good view. As we come in this front door, we have a room here with double doors. It does have a closet. I'm not going to walk in here because it does have brand new carpet. Look at those really nice tall windows. Now, this paint color is a grayish color, more gray than another house that we looked at, but not really as gray as it used to be. So we're moving more toward the browns. I want to show you the light here in the entry, and I'll walk back this way just to give you a look at the front door. So this house does have a lot of nice extras in it. It is 1,710 square feet, and it is in the Cherry Blossom Village. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We come in here, we've got our full bath here. So we had a bedroom at the front, or it could be an office. Then we have a bedroom here. Now it's a little bit smaller. But take a look at this living area with the open concept kitchen, the very large island, dining area, the covered porch. Look at this stone fireplace. Now that would be nice on a fall or winter night to sit here, cozy up in front of the fire. What do you think about the open shelving here, the bench seating? We've got luxury vinyl plank here. Let's take a look in here at the primary. Now, it's a pretty wide space. You could definitely have a king bed either there on that wall between the windows, or you could have it there on the back wall. Primary bath, it's got the tiled shower. We've got tile floors. And a really nice warm wood tone double vanity. Now, I'm not sure, it looks like those mirrors are even wood. It's really nice. I don't think I've seen that. Maybe that's the new trend coming in. What do you think? Is this a trend that you're liking? The warmer tones, kind of getting away from the all white? Very tall ceilings here. That'll be your primary closet. Let's come back out into the bedroom. Now, it looks like this bathroom does have, let me show you, the pocket doors. So that's a nice feature. The bedroom doors are the large panel doors, crown molding. So there are a lot of nice details in this home. Now they're doing some landscape outside, so it's a little noisy. Now here is the dining. You'd definitely have room in here for a large table. You could seat 6 to 8 people at a dining table here. We've got our granite countertops. Now these cabinets are more of a maybe a putty type grayish color. You've got your tile backsplash and your built-in microwave. Now, I love these deep drawers. What do you think? I keep all my pans, you know, that way I don't have to dig around back in those cabinets. I love the drawers. If you're putting in a new kitchen right now, you ought to consider having drawers as opposed to just all lower cabinets. So this one doesn't have a refrigerator, but if this is a house you love, we could definitely write one in. Let's go out and take a look out on this really nice covered deck. So it does have a slider. Now this home is all brick. Some of the houses that we look at are mostly vinyl, but this home, and it looks like houses in this neighborhood are all brick. It looks like this is going to be a very private area. I don't see any construction going on the other side of those trees. We are still in the northern side of Scott County. Now your backyard doesn't go all the way over there. It looks like it just goes to the edge of this grass here. But having green space behind you really does make it feel like you're more in the country. So you could have a nice grill out here, either some lounge chairs or a nice table set to have dining out here. What do you think about it? Now over on this other side of the kitchen, I wanted to show you the laundry because lots of people are interested in main floor laundry. So you've got a really good sized laundry area, and on this side of the doorway you've got hooks and a seat to take off your shoes. You could have a little cubby there to put, you know, a basket, put extra shoes or coats or gloves or whatever you wanted to put. And lots of people want to see the size of the garage. So it's not super wide. Definitely you could get 2 cars in here, but it is very tall. And I've seen people now really adding shelving up above the garage door that kind of lowers on a pulley system. We'll head back into this family living space. We didn't really take a close look at this fireplace. I'm not sure that I've seen one like this. What do you think about that? It's got the glass in the bottom. We're going to head down to the basement. Nice railing here that matches your flooring. And the good thing is there's no carpet on these stairs, so that would really help to keep this clean. What a nice space, ready for you to turn this into whatever you want. It is already plumbed out for a bathroom here. So you could have a shower, a toilet, and a sink in there, so it could be a full bath. Really nice space. It's studded up for a bedroom back there in that section because you'd have a window, 2 windows actually, for easy access outside. Your panel box. These are poured concrete walls, so very nice. The ceilings here are nice and tall, definitely 9-foot ceilings, and your plumbing is tucked into the floor joists, which makes it really nice to put a ceiling in. There's your furnace, your hot water heater, storage. You could put all your Christmas stuff back there. That could be a safe room. Really, this space makes this house very much worth the price of the house. Let's see what it is. $465 for this property. But you have 2 outside exits here, and let's take a look at this one. So because this is covered up above, wow, what a great place. You could have a hot tub here or another patio set. This goes out to that door there. Kind of shows you around to your backyard. So wow, what a space here in this northern side of Georgetown. And we looked at the space. The finished space is only 1,710, but gosh, you probably at least have another 1,000 square feet in the basement that you could make 2 additional bedrooms, a family room, a craft room or an office. So if this is the type house you're looking for, be sure to reach out to us and maybe we could help you get on a subscription list. You could get into a house like this.
So that showed us kind of the inside of this property, and I just want to show it to you here on the map where it is in relationship to the first property that we looked at and to the golf course. So the first property you can see is just up here a little bit north and very close to the Toyota plant. So if you're going to be working at Toyota, this might be an awesome place to live. If you want to be just a little bit south and closer to town, you might look at something in this Cherry Blossom neighborhood. And before we check out our third property, I wanted to show you some of the places that we talked about on our map and on our tour today. Was this one of these restaurants that I just really wanted to focus in on? I was telling you, it was like a southern steakhouse in a really historic area here on Broadway. Some of the best food you could try there. There's a meatball dish that they have that's more like an appetizer, but you can't go wrong with anything really that you try here. So check out some of these dining rooms. Food is delicious. I wonder if they had any pictures. Now, this is the outside, and they've just kind of got this back patio developed. It's just beautiful there. So this is Rodney's. Now let's take a look. We talked about this place on our map. Now this is Fava's, and it is like the 1970s diner. I just wanted to give you a good look at what it looks like. Let's see if they have any picture. There it is on the inside. Does that not remind you of just an old style diner? And here's where it is, right here on Main Street, just like the stools you see on the movies, all the classic food. So if you're coming into Georgetown, it would be a great place to try, just to go there for lunch or breakfast. It's delicious. Now, another place I wanted to show you just down from Fava's is Galvin's. Let's take a look at this. It's kind of like a pub style. So they have pizzas and sandwiches and, all kinds of appetizers, salads here. I was trying to see if we could look at the inside. It is just in a historic area of downtown. Really cool place to just hang out, maybe watch a ball game. Wanted to just give you a look at maybe at the downtown area here, because 460 runs right here it is on my map. It runs all the way west into Frankfort, or it runs all the way east. This takes you all the way over to Paris. So, if you want to take the scenic route, you can definitely do it. Stay on that road. It'll get you right over there. One of the fun things that people really like to do here in Georgetown is canoeing, kayaking on the creek. As you can see on my map, the creek winds all the way through Georgetown. And now this is the North Fork of Elkhorn Creek, and it runs all the way into Frankfort and joins up with the South Fork of Elkhorn Creek and runs into the Kentucky River. So you can see it makes lots of bows and loops through the entire town of Georgetown. So lots of activities on the creek. We've got our Bywater Farm here. Really nice place to go, especially in the fall. Kids love to take school trips here. The pumpkin patch. They've got, the farmer's market. There's all their Halloween, their honey and their jellies and jams. A really, really nice place. People from all over travel over to Georgetown to go to Bywater Farm. Wanted to just show you some of the photos of the main area of Georgetown to look at some of these historic buildings. Now, these are like early 1900s, these buildings, and lots of them have been refurbished. There are apartments in the upstairs of these buildings. The main floor, have lots and lots of different kinds of shops. It is a really happening kind of place. Of course, in the fall, it's all decorated, but During the Christmas season, it's beautiful. It looks like a scene in the Hallmark movies. Here's some pictures of people at the creek, some more pictures of the building. Just a small, quaint town that really is growing. Just a picture of Americana there. So let's see if we can get back to our map. See what else we've got on our map. Oh, we couldn't really talk about, Georgetown without really looking at old friends. Lots of people want to come into central Kentucky to see the horses, to tour the different horse farms that have tours available to them. But you've got to really check out Old Friends. Now, this is a retirement farm for racehorses. So, you hear all about the racehorses when they're running the Kentucky Derby and all the different, the Preakness and the Belmont, all the different races all over the country, really, and all over the world. And once these horses are past their prime, what kind of home are they going to have? So this is the place, that you can go and visit, volunteer, spend time just visiting with the different horses here. It's just really a beautiful place to come in and spend time to see, up close and personal. Now, this one is Big Brown. It says this is the 2007 Kentucky Derby winner. So if you're coming into Georgetown and taking a look around, trying to decide what kind of area, you want to live in, or what area of central Kentucky you want to live in, definitely come in and take a look at Old Friends. Beautiful place there. Now, one of the last places that we wanted to zoom in on and take a look was let's see, over here on the west side of Georgetown. Let's zoom out so you can kind of get a look. So Toyota is up here to the north, and we looked at it. Definitely runs all along I-75. But we wanted to take a look at this area right over here. Now, this property, we're going to jump in and take a look at it, give you an idea of what's here. Now, we're not going to go in and do a tour of this house, but I just wanted to be able to show it to you here on the map, kind of get a look at it. Now, this subdivision is the Canewood subdivision, and it has its own clubhouse with a pool. It also has a really, really nice golf course. Let's see if we can take a look at that. So here are the photos of the golf course that's just right here in this neighborhood. Here's the clubhouse that I was telling you about. So Georgetown does have quite a few different golf courses depending on what area of town that you're going to live in. But as you can see here at this Canewood neighborhood, there are some newer houses going in here. It's right here on Frankfort. 460 out this way is called Frankfort Pike. So if you live in Georgetown and maybe you're going to be working over in Frankfort, this would be a great neighborhood. But also you can be right down here on the interstate in just a few minutes and get over to Lexington. Now, this house that we looked at over here, it was the most expensive house that we checked out. And it was the 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. And it was actually about 2,200 square feet, and it was priced at $420,000. So if you're thinking about moving into Georgetown and you're not real sure what area you'd like to live in, but you want to be close to amenities, or maybe you want to be in a community with an HOA, reach out to us so that we can help you find a property that would fit your lifestyle and fit the needs that you're looking for. In Georgetown, there are some of the homes that we looked at over here on this northern side, you can get into those homes in the 300s and up from there, depending on what amenities that you're looking for. But there is lots of construction going on here in Georgetown. So reach out to us. We could help you find a property here that would suit just about any need that you could have. Now, one of the most interesting things that people like to talk about when they're moving into places is the property taxes in the area. And so I did a quick check to see what the tax rate is in Georgetown, Scott County, as opposed to Lexington, Fayette County. It looks like the median property tax in Fayette County as of 2025 was $1,416. And the median tax rate in Franklin County, which is Frankfort, is $1,110. But actually, Scott County had a lower tax rate, median tax rate at $978. Now, probably some of these newer houses in the 400,000s, your property taxes are going to be a little more than that. But if you look at it per square foot and how much they charge, you're going to get a lot more for your money by moving into Scott County or even into Franklin County because the tax rate is much cheaper there. Now, we've looked at lots of different things in our video today. We've talked about, the beauty, the quaintness of Georgetown. We've talked about the school systems here. We've looked at some different neighborhoods, some things to do for fun and entertainment. We've talked about the median house prices and the tax rate. And so there's a lot of information and really more than what we can put into this video that we could really help you if you decide that Georgetown would be the area that you'd like to move into. Reach out to us and let us help you get into a property in this Georgetown area. So until next time, I hope to see you around town.